So my name is Adebowale Adejare, and I have with me Kachi Oracle Kachi. I did throw him back. It was here last week. Thank God, I was able to use some voodoo on him. Ola Ali is here as well, and of course, we're missing Ola Yinka today, and it's still the best and number one sports show in the whole of the universe. It's News Institute Sport, running concurrently on our YouTube channel, News Institute Sport on YouTube and on our band Radio Scope. Shay, you want to say hi to the fans at home? I'm gonna start with you, Shay.
Hello, sport fans around the world. Good day to you, and welcome to today's edition.
All right, perfect. Lali.
Good day, sport fan around the world. Welcome to the show. I hope you guys will have a nice time with us. We have a lot to unpack today.
All right, perfect. Now, did you throw Oracle Kachi?
Sports fans, I hope you guys are smarter than Dennis Schroeder and his agents and will make better decisions. Stay tuned for a fantastic edition today.
All right, perfect, perfect. Before we go into sports, before we start sporting activities, just know, guys, I officially divorced Arsenal over the weekend, and
Oh yeah,
I'm proudly a PSG
PSG.
fan now.
Yeah,
At least for the,
wow.
at least
That,
for the next 1 week, at least
Uh,
until we
wow.
play the next game against Man City or Chelsea. All right, perfect.
Yeah.
So today we'll be starting on a sad note. For the sporting world, this is a guy that's called one. Apart from Justin Fountain, is the only person to have scored a double figure in a single World Cup. It has won five Bundesliga games, won five German Cups, and of course, he had a playing career between 1964 to 1979. This guy is the only guy to have scored over 70 goals in a single calendar year up until the best player of all time, Lionel Messi, did that with 91 goals. And we're talking about no other person than Gerd Muller. This is a German legend, a footballing legend, and a hero of our standard. Kachi, I'm going to start with you. I know this is a folklore that we should tell our kids when we're talking about football, when we're talking about sports, and um, everything does not have to be flashy. Some players are not flashy, but their level of brilliance comes in different package. How overall will you rate the career of this legend? Quickly.
you summed it up by the term you use. Gerd Muller, yes, may so rest in peace, but he will always be regarded in the present tense. Gerd Muller is a legend of the football game, period. I mean, he won everything there was to win, both in international football and also in club football.
Yeah.
Not sure you mentioned the fact that he was also a Ballon d'Or winner in 1970. He won the European Championship, won the World Cup,
Yeah.
scored 14 goals in two World Cups. I mean,
Yeah.
he was only eclipsed very recently by his countryman, Miroslav Klose. There is no mention of football and the history of the greats of the game without chronicling what Gerd Muller was and the impact he had in the game. Well, Bayern Munich will miss him sincerely, but I think the world of football will miss him more.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. Olade, there's a medical concern for footballers or sporting people in general, and that's asthma. It comes from nodding the ball and this aggression associated with sport, and this is what killed Muller in the long run. How concerned or how much of research and development should be put towards this so we can protect our footballers when they get to this age, they don't suffer the same fate.
Um, I think couple of months ago, or was it some not even too long? I think there was a finding by the English FA about the disease and how it relates to issue of probably nodding the ball from the early age or something like that. And I think they said they want to limit the number of times kids at some certain age
Also
will
hit the
be
ball.
exposed to have to hit the ball. So of course, for them to do that, they must have been a lot of scientific
Research.
evidence, research to prove it. But again, I just don't know how it could easily fits into the game on the long run because um, you know how the game is being played. Nodding is a primary, as in,
Part.
is one of the primary skills that
Oh.
it requires. I don't know how you want to probably limit people from nodding the game and nodding the ball. It changes the whole game entirely.
The
So
dynamics of football.
yeah, of football entirely, and I honestly I don't know how it's going to fit in,
That
but
means
probably
that
if
I think the English FA just added something starting from this season. They're actually going to be limiting heading of the ball in trainings for the league, the English league. Actually, I saw something like that like 2 weeks ago.
oh wow.
yeah,
Just narrowing it down to
What
this
Olawale
disease
said.
and also
Yeah.
concussion and all that.
Yeah.
yeah. So
So
but
they're probably going to be heading probably maybe 3 times in training, and they will avoid some type of long crosses and all that.
Okay. That would make much sense in
If,
the
if,
long
if
run for
I can say something, guys,
okay.
this is very similar to what is obtainable in the American sports, American football, the NFL, where there are certain days of the week before game days, the quarterbacks wear red, the players are not wearing pad so that they don't have contact. You know, this is to help prolong their career, so to speak. So you see these quarterbacks wearing red so that during the trainings, they are not hit by the defenders or the cornerbacks or the linebackers. And I think it's something that we should see how how successful it is in the English game. I'm talking about preventing players from
Not
using
so
their
much. Yeah.
training. If it works, and if science proves that, you know how they tell you, oh, if you quit smoking within 3 weeks, you start to see the impact in your lungs.
Yeah.
If science can prove that not using your head in training would have a impact, I think it's something FIFA should adopt and implement across all the major leagues.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, guys. Because behind the entertainment, there's health issues that needs to be integrated, and this was actually proven by a certain Nigerian doctor in the United States, and this was acted out in a movie called Concussion, acted by Will Smith, just to show us what this thing could turn out for. And of course, from there we'll move to other sporting stories before we move to the demise of Arsenal, Manchester City, doing a Manchester City over again, a 1 billion squad that cannot score goal. But I'll come to you, Shay. Aerospence versus Manny Pacquiao. We thought this was going to happen, and we were looking forward to it. And at the point, I felt Spence was actually scared of fighting Pacquiao. But after listening to you, I understand that okay, the damage looks real, and it's something that should be taken care of. But Shay, you wanna expatiate on that?
Yes, thank you, Debo. Initially, too, when I heard the news, I was, everybody thought probably Errol Spence Jr. was trying to duck Manny Pacquiao. Personally, I don't think there's a reason for that. But drilling down to the injury, I think this is a very, when we're talking about boxing,
Yeah.
Professional boxers know about this injury and everybody dread it. It's called a torn retina, and this can actually put you out of professional boxing. So he had to visit up to like 3 doctors, which every one of them told him the same thing.
Same
He
thing.
should not go ahead. Yeah, he should not go ahead with the fight. He had to just go ahead and add a surgery on the left retina.
Okay.
But talking about the fight itself, we are happy that Manny Pacquiao's 2-year break is over, he's still going to fight on the 21st. And he's going to be taking on Yordenis Ugas, the Cuban welterweight WBA champion. Apparently, Manny Pacquiao was actually the WBA champion 2 years ago before he went on to go and do politics, and he had to vacate,
the belt.
Vacate his belt. So now you guys, who is the WBA champion now, has to face Manny Pacquiao, who actually was the owner.
The original owner of the belt.
Yes, and I think that is very, 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 very nice, because Manny Pacquiao actually wanted to take the belt back, but the WBA, the association, said no. A proper way for you to be a champion is to actually win it in the ring. Apparently, Spence Jr. got injured, and also you guys were supposed to be undercard on Spence Pacquiao. Was supposed to fight Maidana. Maidana also got injured. So right now we have you. You guys.
It's a circle within the boxing association. I hope you are not losing so much money with all these cancellation and all. But anyways,
so
Joshua Butais defeated Bolognese in the 11th round. This match was fought at Eddie Ann's camp. It's a good one. This guy remains undefeated, and it looks to marching forward in his boxing career. And of course, to a strange one, Kachi, Dennis Schroeder. People are making case for him. I made a case for him. You showed out my argument within seconds. I agree
without a doubt.
I agree with you. Looks, I feel he wanted his own identity. That's why he moved to the Celtics, and probably if he could find his identity, since it's a year-on-year contract, anyways, he probably would leave Celtics and go somewhere else. I feel that is what he's trying to do. Probably, like Laule would say, challenging himself. But rejecting that kind of money, it's crazy. I wouldn't lie. Rejecting it was $84 million or 85 million. Yeah, rejecting that is crazy. I'm not gonna lie, but this decision, how economically, how foolish is it? Career-wise. Okay. Economically, Kachi, tell me how foolish it is. Wale, career-wise, how good is it? Let's read that way. So Kachi, go first.
Economically, it's the stupidest decision a professional can ever make. In street parlance, we will say Dennis Schroeder fumbled the bag. He focused on the unknown in a sport that has been known to be very cutthroat, that does not reward potential. Rewards what you have done in the past, hoping that will build into potential. The young, stupid man called Dennis Schroeder, apologies if he deserves it, I don't think he does, reportedly rejected a 4-year, $89 million fully guaranteed contract with the LA Lakers because he wanted a $100 million contract. And in that season, the next season, when he was supposed to be the number 2 point guard on days when LeBron does not play as the point guard, he messed up. Career-wise, his league average dropped significantly. On those nights when AD and LeBron were injured, we saw him by not seeing him. His absence was louder than his presence.
His presence in the team, yeah.
He won't be the first person to do this, but I should also tell you that for all the other guys, I can't mention their names now, all the other guys who rejected contracts, max contracts, and ended up getting smaller ones, they never recovered from it. He's going to a Celtics team, and I'm sure Wale will elaborate more on that. He's going to a Celtics team that will not be his team. That will forever be Jason Tatum's team. So I still don't see how he's going to increase his league average.
So
I think
economically,
he fire himself before firing his agent.
Olale,
That is all I have to say.
okay, thank you very much, Kachi. Olale, it's still the same statement. Career wise, economically, Kachi already told us is a strange decision, one of the strangest decision, and renegotiating it, actually rejecting the first offer from Lakers because he wanted 100 million after doing next to nothing for the Lakers. But career wise, moving to the Celtics, how is it going to turn out for him? How do you think it's going to turn out for him?
Now, either way, career-wise, economic-wise, it's a disaster as it is now. Because I think the most important thing at this stage for him is the economic, what do you call it, the economic factor. So either way we want to look at it, I think it's a disaster, and I think it's a case of a guy betting on himself
At the wrong time.
or at the wrong time. See, the issue is if it's not like if the Lakers offer is still on the table now, he's going to accept it. What happened was this: he was thinking probably if the Lakers had a very good run last season and it was very impactful, he could probably get a better offer from another team in terms of money. That was why he turned down the Lakers offer.
Yeah, he turned out the first offer and turned out the second offer as well. To go
now, but now, it's not like he went. The Boston offer is what is left for him now. That is just it. It's not like he intended to go that he wanted to play in Boston to boost his career or anything. No, he had no other choice at the moment because the Lakers offer was off the table when the Lakers saw his performance during the playoff, when LeBron and what do you call it, and Anthony Davis were not too effective. He couldn't elevate his own game. He couldn't elevate the games of other guys around him as the point guard. At that point in time, Lakers just felt like, wow, that means even we are overpricing this guy. So sometimes as players, at times you need to take risk, but you need to take calculated risk.
So Wale, my question is, what happens to him with the Celtic? Is he going to do something different? Now, is he going to elevate his career in Celtic? Or
like Kachi said, the Celtic team is actually built around Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. How is going to fit in as a third guy and make enough impact for another team to offer him whatever he has rejected with the Lakers is
very difficult.
Exactly. We can't really say how that one is going to turn out. But as it is now today, it's a disaster. Like Kachi said, in as much as you want to criticize, what do you call it, the agent, he himself deserves the chunk of the blame. Because if he insisted in signing with the Lakers, Kachi, how much was he offered for 4 years? Was it $80 million or how much? I can't remember the exact amount.
4 years.
Guaranteed. Fully guaranteed.
Okay. All right. Perfect. There's a huge decision or a huge consensus that this was a career backflip. Of course, we don't wish that on our worst enemy. Just thank you very much, just to further enunciate. The limited number of headers in the English Premier League in the training is 10 as against the 3 that we said before. Thank you very much, Shay, for bringing that up. And of course, Kawhi Leonard has eventually signed his contract. It's still lower than what it was first offered. It was 214 at first, but he signed at 184 million pounds, which is not bad if you ask me. But the question is, I know Wale and I have different opinion about this. I always like to sit against Wale anyways. I don't think he will ever win a ring. I don't think so. I don't wish him to win a ring anyways, but I don't think he will. But Wale seemed to differ. Wale, let me start with you. Do you think Kawhi is going to win a championship before he stops, before his career ends? And this is all things being equal.
Now, okay, good. There is nothing certain in life,
Yeah.
But one thing you can guarantee is if he's healthy,
yeah,
the Clippers have a chance. Winning the championship depends on some other things falling in place for the team. But for him, for the let me say for all the parties involved, I think it makes a bit of sense that he signed, and for him too, looking at his recent injury history.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he can take that gamble because now he's going to miss a significant amount of time next season.
Yeah.
We are not even sure whether he was going to return throughout
back,
you know the way
back in time.
You know the way Kawhi's camp operates. He hardly gives out information. You hardly know what is going on in his mind.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm sure the Clippers prior to this were very jittery. They probably felt like he was not going to sign. But for him, so I think his options are limited. And considering that he's having this a second, or let me say third, a second long-term injury in his career, and despite the fact that he has been load managing by playing fewer games during the regular season, I think his own camp must have done their own job to tell him that,
this is that guy,
this is your best chance of getting
huge money,
a very big contract, because you never know if he didn't opt out from his contract and his injury, he doesn't recover well from his injury. You think any other team or even Clippers will offer him what they have offered him now?
Yeah, of course.
So for him,
100%.
It's a win. It's a win-win on his own side, and for the Clippers, I think it's a gamble.
It's a huge gamble.
A gamble in the fact that fine, if he comes back fit, they still have
great for them.
I think his window is it still have like 3 years or 4 years competitive years of his career
left in him, thanking him.
Yeah. So which they can easily get some other guys to pair in. But if peradventure he comes back and it doesn't look good, then they've committed themselves and they've committed a lot of money to a player that probably will not give them. So for him, it's a huge win at this stage, considering his injury history.
For the
Clippers, I think as of now, it's a bit of uncertainty, but I think they what they did was to take
a
risk that is a bit reasonable, or they hope will still turn out well.
Okay, I hope it will, but we know how this injury works for guys like that. We've seen the marvelous Klay Thompson on 32.7 million USD not been able to reenact or come back from his injury. We don't know when he's going to come back. I hope he will, for the sake of basketball and for every fan that loves this guy. This is the only guy that has been injured for more than 1 year, and he was still voted to be on the NBA All-Star. That's sick. That's like one of the sickest things I saw in the whole of last season. Kachi, I'm going to come to you now. We saw the final race at the Olympics, 4x100 meters. We saw CJ Uja being very angry at not helping the Great Britain, even they had a slight lead before the race was won by Italian. And I'm wondering, this guy has been found guilty of doping, and even with his doping, he could not win. That's crazy, man. That's really crazy. That's really crazy. CJ Uja, you doped and you still can't win a race for your life for a gold medal at the Olympics.
Don't forget, it's a quartet. It wasn't a race that was dependent on only him.
Yeah, it wasn't dependent on only him. Kachi, don't make case for this guy. This guy, he had there was wait, hold on. Probably I should refresh your memory. He had a good start. Like he had a good distance between him and the Italians. It was doping. Imagine Tyson Gay is on dope right now, or should we say Yohan Blake on dope? It's supposed to make a difference, but you're doping and the Italians need to catch up with you. You can't have that for your life. And it was the most angry of all the athletes on that day. Sorry.
CJ ran the first leg of that final in Tokyo, right? He ran
the last leg.
No, he ran the first leg.
Okay.
He did the first leg.
Oh, okay.
By the time he handed over the baton, he was in
good lead. Considerable lead.
For his anger was that maintain whatever lead he had.
Yeah.
That listeners and viewers on our YouTube channel, this is not to validate or support doping or performance enhancing through illegal means. Even him being visibly upset. I remember reading just before our show aired, I remember reading an article that the eventual winners of the relay, the Italians, laughed that somebody who doped is angry, and all that. And it makes me question why athletes will go ahead to do this. I mean, even when technology wasn't this advanced, Ben Johnson did it in Seoul Olympics and he was caught.
Yeah.
Not to talk of a time such as this, when science has gone way higher. The chances of being discovered is actually greater than it was.
Higher than,
It's so sad that, when people of minorities of one race representing another country succeed, that country takes that glory, and when all of the ladder, the media is quick to remind us of
where they originated
from.
I think that for me is the biggest disappointment, that the Great Britain is now so quick to remind us that
a Nigerian
descent, but it's a shame to the integrity of the sport. It's a shame to CJ Uja himself. He should apologize to the rest of the guys who he was berating for finishing second. And I would have said he should apologize to the country of Nigeria, but the government of Nigeria itself has not really done.
No, we don't want it. We don't want a doper. Thank you very much, Kachi. We don't want a doper. The Britons can take it for all we care. But good one for Canada now. Canadians have been elevated, or should I say we have been elevated to the silver medal. Good one. We're going to quick break right now. When we come back, we'll be starting off with a 5-year game, which represents the demise of Arsenal Football Club as an institution and the beginning of the end for Edu and Arteta. Yeah, so we're back. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's still News to Sport on YouTube and concurrently on the band Radioscope. And we're going to start from the demise of Arsenal. It's one good thing for you to have a strong institution. It's another thing to have the right personnel in that institution. A majority of this BS falls, or should I say, is in front at the doorsteps of the owners of Arsenal, rather than Edu and Arteta themselves. They are second when you talk about the blame game. Anyways, I'm not going to say so much about it. We saw what happened last season. We saw what they did in the transfer market. A club that clearly needs striker, creativity, a right back, decides to spend 50 million. They don't clearly have on a defender from Brighton. Olali, I will start with you on this one. This is the beginning of the end of Arsenal. Do you agree, or you think this is just an alarm on the side of Arsenal fans?
Well, I think this has actually been coming for, let me say, years. The downfall, we've started seeing the writing on the wall for, let me say, some couple of years ago. But I think, like you said, it is getting worse every year. Considering the fact that now, last 2 seasons, Leicester City could have probably end up in the top 4. 2020, if not for COVID-19 that happened, I'm not sure United could have recovered to finish ahead of them. Last year, injuries and some bad luck too played his own part. What am I trying to say? Even despite the gap in what do you call it, in finance and in funds available to try with the transfer market and in terms of pedigree, Leicester City has found a way of being competitive in the Premier League. But the same thing cannot be said of Arsenal. Things have been getting worse year in, year out. And we saw their first game. It's not a matter of overreacting. When I heard Ben White signing, and there was a time they were linked with even, what do you call it, Abraham. For the fact that they were even linked with Abraham, it's a big concern for me. What do you want to do with Abraham when you have, what do you call it?
Lacazette and Aubameyang.
Lacazette and Aubameyang, you've not probably figured out how to get the best out of this guy. Like you rightly pointed out, it's a bigger problem. There's a bigger issue to deal with at Arsenal. And I think, unfortunately for Arteta, I said when he took over when he took the job, one thing like you probably give to Pep Guardiola is he knows which job to take at a point in time. For all his love for Barcelona, if you offer that Barcelona team to Pep Guardiola now, I'm not sure
he's
going to take it.
Yeah, because it's going to be
so
tax.
I think Arteta was a bit naive in the first part, taking that job. He could have gotten a smaller job elsewhere then, and that was why I knew him on his own side was a bit not too intelligent because he was part of the team. He was an insider, and he saw the way things were being run. He could have noticed. He should have known that he wasn't going to get the kind of support he was probably looking for. He could have his own tactical deficiency, but what we've noticed is like Edu, as what is his role? Is he director of football or whatever?
Whatever.
The guys behind the scene the guys behind the scene have done a lot of terrible jobs. They've done a lot of terrible jobs because there is no proper planning. There is no adequate scouting. I've not seen Arsenal signing. What we even under Wenger, what we knew Wenger for is Wenger has a way of signing players that we all question from the beginning, and before you know it, when Wenger signed Alexander Leb, everybody was like, where
is it coming from? So
we have that question for majorly every Arsene Wenger signing, and most of them they always turn out very, very, very good, which is what is currently missing now. We accept the fact that they don't have the fund to compete with the City of this world or the United, but still yet, I think they should have enough. If they have a good scouting team and a very intelligent director of football, for now, I think the whole thing is falling out of place for us now. And now, if you ask majority of sports football analysts, I'm not sure anybody will even, if you ask them where they think you think Arsenal is going to finish at the end of the season, I'm not sure anybody will give them chances of finishing 6th or 7th.
Yeah,
and the way it is going, they might just become a forgotten team. I'm very sorry to say.
All right, perfect. I like that. Sheyi, I'm going to come to you now. First game of the season, you had Bukayo Saka, and you decided to start Folarin Balogun up front at a top 9. And Crackers, what we are hearing is that Lacazette and Aubameyang are actually not injured. We don't know how far that is true, but they're not actually injured. But there is a kind of fracas between them and Arteta. Who starts a Folarin Balogun on the first day against Brentford, knowing that you don't have 2 of your best strikers on the bench?
Debo, it's very surprising actually, and personally, I think I understand what he was trying to do, but talking sense right now, he should understand that he was playing. The whole team is quite weak. You played young Lokonga, you played young Balogun, you played a Ben White that just joined the team like maybe 3 weeks ago, and you expect something fantastic. I think that's totally wrong. Arsenal has turned to a team that now puts let's say, the weight of a so-called huge club. Because as far as I'm concerned, I think Arsenal is still a huge club.
When you consider history,
definitely
but sincerely, there are no big club for the past 2 or 3 years. That's the truth.
No. Sincerely,
Okay.
you have to compare them, and they're actually a huge club.
Okay.
The way the club is being run at the moment, there is big question mark about that. The way the coach himself sets up his team, and also probably all these small issues with big players. He's having issues. I think managing these so-called big players is part of his problem at the moment. I think a young coach like Arteta should really understand how to manage big players. Number one, they make your team. You don't have the experience of the likes of Fergie, Mourinho.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? To say, okay, a big player can sit on the bench and I know what to do to get my team to play and give me results. You don't have that. So the number one thing you should do is your perfect man management to get the best out of your players. I would say so far, that is what is helping Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He knows how to handle exactly. He knows how to handle those.
Even when he does not like you, he's still going to pamper you and everything.
Exactly, pamper you to make sure that you still get your job done. So I think that is a big issue with Arteta.
Okay. Do you think Arteta should hold this job up until Christmas, Kachi?
No, I think
wait, let me ask Kachi. Kachi, should Arteta hold this job until Christmas, or he should be fired as soon as possible? The board has done a terrible job, but sometimes you look to the coach to correct these simple anomalies, to correct the anomalies and make you compete. Arsenal can never win the league, but they can compete at least for the 6th position.
My answer would echo what I think it was Jim Beglin said during the Tottenham Hotspur Man City game, which we'll talk about later, that Mikel Arteta is currently the front liner for being the first manager to be sacked this season. I think after one game is too early to place that decision on, considering the glaring absence of the people he would term his key players. The supposed spine of the midfield, Thomas Partey, was missing. They played Folarin Balogun, who he may be anything, but is definitely not ready. They were missing both Lacazette and Aubameyang, which feelers tell us are being pursued by Barcelona right now, from all we hear. The young Uruguayan, I can't seem to remember his name right.
Lucas Torreira.
Lucas Torreira was posting pictures of himself and his family at halftime in Madrid, not even in England. This tells me that Mikel Arteta does not have a command of that dressing room. I looked at all the young boys that are there. It's unlike before when you see the tunnel. I mean, remember the olden days of Patrick Vieira as the captain? He used to fight with Roy Keane from the dressing room before they even get to the pitch. That way, the fear of God enters you immediately. Even though
you are still going to lose that game 4-2 at Highbury.
An article I read said if they had asked Brentford to select any of the big clubs
to play
an opening game against, that they would have selected Arsenal. That is how far and how low Arsenal has fallen. Okay. Your question,
Kachi, to add to your point, I think they said the combined minutes of Premier League football played by all the entire Brentford team was 13 minutes. Only 3 players are probably tasted Premier League football. And the combined minutes, the 3 of them, Hard was 13 minutes.
Yeah. So that lets you know that it's as embarrassing as, I mean, they couldn't even muster a goal. Do you understand what it means? It's Brentford. These boys were nervous. They had never played at that stage before.
And somehow she thinks that club is a big club. Okay.
It is.
Okay. I agree with
club, not a big team.
I agree with you. It's a big club based on history. But definitely for me, my darling Arsenal that I've been supporting for so long is a small club right now. And of course, we move to the guy that people have so much maligned. This boy is a World Cup winner. He is the chief of showboaters in the whole world. He comes to games with different hairstyles and looks like he's the most unserious footballer ever to come out of France. I'm talking about no other person but Lebile Paul Pogba. Came up 4 assists in the game, the first time for a United player. And of course, Bruno Fernandes doing a Bruno Fernandes got an hat-trick, a first time, I think, in donkey years that a United player will start the league with an hat-trick on the opening day. Wonderful atmosphere at Old Trafford. And someone said the Indians are back in the front seat of Old Trafford. So you guys should actually watch out. 5-1 he ended against Leeds United. A taste of it. Rafael Varane has been unveiled by Manchester United. So we're looking at more good things coming from United. Kachi, I'm going to stay on you for this one. We see a positive atmosphere at United. How do you think this positivity will echo throughout the squad and will help United for a push? They might not win the league, but for a push to show people that they are major contenders this year and not just pretenders.
It's going to play a massive role in continually boosting the morale of the players. You saw how well they took to the arrival of Rafael Varane just before kickoff. The entire fan base looked at the Stretford end. They looked really pumped, and Paul Pogba looked interested in playing football. You know, it's a big difference. I think they will compete. The one thing United has always been known for during the times of Sir Alex Ferguson was that they trained the hardest during the off season to retain their fitness level, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a part of that famous
squad
period.
Yeah.
So I think he's gradually introducing that, and players are buying into it. Maybe before there was a clash of ego that Bruno Fernandes came and became the new kid on the block. But right now, guys are deferring to him. Paul Pogba is not holding the ball. Most of his assists over the weekend were one-time passes. He was decisive, and I saw that decisiveness. Even my man, Anthony Martial, shaved his hair, telling me this is not the time. This is the time to compete. So to answer your question, I think that mindset would permeate the entire club. Whether it will get them to win the league, I don't know. But will they compete? Absolutely. Man U will compete this season.
All right, Sheyi, I'm going to come to you now. Mason Greenwood, we know this kid is a fabulous player, no doubt about it. When it came to United, nobody knew where it's coming from. We did not see this quality, but week in, week out, we see this quality in this boy, and we see the way he plays. Marco Rashford is out right now. Sancho is a 73 million pound player. How much of a push do you think Mason will be for Sancho? Showing Sancho that this shirt, this guarantee shirt is not just for you. We're going to fight for it. How much, and would you think, by the money spent, would you think will win this fight? I'm placing my money on Mason Greenwood anyways, but I want your opinion.
Okay, Debo, I think this discussion is is a juicy discussion for any Manchester United fan. You want a team with quite a lot of players that can actually make the difference, you know. And talking about the squad depth, missing Greenwood, so I think Manchester United did something right about missing Greenwood, and I have to say kudos to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for that. They've tried as much as possible to put the boy on the wraps. It was almost Euro 2020 bound. They have to call him back.
Yeah.
He needed to, to
perform of
attend to his
surgery.
injury.
Yeah.
Yes,
be
and
ready for the
also
season.
get a fantastic rest. And everything that they did for him is just playing out. And don't let us forget something that when Lukaku, Martial, Rashford was in Manchester United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer used to say something that the most natural finisher in that team is Mason Greenwood. And I want to believe that he understands what he was saying then, and he still understands that. But this is the time that we are picking that particular statement because he knows them from when they were, all kids. I think the boy is actually a better scorer than the lots of the strikers we have at Manchester United. Now, talking about playing from the wings, I think Mason Greenwood should look at the 9 position more than the wing.
More than
Yeah.
playing from
So
the wings.
I'd rather leave the likes of Rashford, Martial, actually to join them to play from the wing, and Jadon Sancho to focus on that. I'd rather have a missing
would okay, great. So we should not look at him from. I'll say I'll look at him from Robert Van Persie side of things. A striker that doesn't like to say central. A striker that knows how to hold the ball.
Perfect.
That's the way I'm going to say it. So Ali, I'm going to come to you now. There is an echo of sentiment across the footballing world. United is not a pretender for this league. And like I tell anybody that cares to this thing, the only reason why City won the league last year was because United was not serious and they were not ready. How serious do you think United are this season for the league?
Well, everything points towards they have to compete. And if you look at the 2 signings they've made, it has been a very smart and intelligent signings. Rafael, if there is one thing, one of the major problems United had last season was at the center back position. If you look at this guy, Lindelof struggles a lot against physical defenders. It cost United a lot of goals, and I think that was answered with the signing of Varane. Apart from that, it's about squad depth again. Now you can mix it up. There are days you can play Lindelof, Maguire, Varane, Lindelof. That's how big teams win competitions. You need that depth to win. For Sancho brings a lot of different dynamics into the team. He plays more like a old-fashioned wingers who can deliver perfectly for the crosses for the striker, and who can even get you goals on his own part. And for the argument for what you were trying for the comparison we are doing with him and Mason Greenwood, I think the injury to
Marcus Rashford.
Marcus Rashford might be a blessing.
A blessing is guys
for the two of them, especially with Cavani 2 out. Now, one thing I observed about Paul Pogba's position yesterday was he played on the left side of the front 3, but of course, as a natural midfielder, he moves around. I think that bit of freedom, not being responsible, we wouldn't, because even with Pogba on the left, we still have 3 players in the center of the midfield. So I think that's free him up without a bit of defensive responsibility. What Pogba needs is a bit of consistency. I think if this lineup he used against Leeds United gets him some couple of results, let me say 5 wins within
in the
in
first
the
five
beginning of the
games.
season,
Yeah.
five games of the season, I'm sure it might be very difficult to go back from that. But like you said, like the question you asked, United with the squad they have now, probably Bar City. If you remove City, their squad in terms of quality and depth is not far away from Chelsea and Liverpool. The only reason why we might rate Chelsea, Liverpool ahead of them is probably because of their coaches, and this is where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer
Needs to work.
tactical
Yeah.
we have
Acumen
to
will
come
come into play.
into. Exactly. So
All right.
for me, they have all the ingredients to compete, and I think they should compete.
All right. Perfect.
Even I think Ole himself knows that.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. And of course, Burnley lost against Brighton and Hove, 2-1 of Brighton. Neil Maupay scoring one of the goals. Those are the kind of clubs that will select together with Arsenal. I'm not sure they're going to win those clubs on their day as well. And of course, Chelsea stopped where they continue where they stopped from last season. Good defensive ability. We saw them whipping Crystal Palace, still new, a baptism of fire for Patrick Vieira. Welcome to Hell Vieira. We wish you good luck as an Arsenal legend, of course. But welcome to it. And of course, Everton versus Southampton, ended 3-1 in favor of Everton. Fans are still not convinced about Rafa Benitez. They said even if he wins the league, they will not like him and they will never like him. I wonder what he's doing at the side
they are not serious.
of Messi side. Anyways, I agree with the fans when you are not welcome somewhere. I don't know why you have to make yourself welcome where you are not welcome. And of course, we already said with the signing of Lukaku, it's going to change the dynamics for Chelsea. So we don't have to go over that again. Leicester City still have to depend on Jimmy Vardy for them to win 1-0 against Wolverhampton. But the question, Kachi, will be the celebration by Jimmy Vardy going to the front of the Wolf fans and doing the woo in front of the fans. That's a sick celebration, and it's provocative if you ask me as well. But of course, he's an English guy.
Not as provocative as Emmanuel Adebayor running the entire length of fans when he scored. I think Vardy was basically excelling because that was his first goal since, I believe, February from the previous season. His shot, he's been blank, and it was really needed. That was a very timely goal. If anybody needed to score, you need to know that your talisman is right there ready to lead your team at the start of a new season. It was a brilliant goal that deserved a brilliant celebration. I did not see it as being provocative, but even if you think it was, I mean, it pales in comparison.
Until they start stoning you with coins and you get a blooded nose. That's when you know it's provocative. Of course.
For Leicester City.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that. And of course, Liverpool won 3-0 against Norwich City. And the good thing about it is Mo Salah making history, scoring on every first day of the league. And of course, Mo Salah has scored the equal number of goals with Cristiano Ronaldo with lesser goals. Of course, we know Cristiano Ronaldo was never played in this kind of position for United. So, but it goes to illustrate the level where Salah operates. Shay, I'm going to come to you. If Salah was a South American or is an European, do you think he would get better accolade than he receives right now?
I think no doubt about that. Is going to get better accolades. That's just I agree completely. But at the same time, I think Salah has been on the podium for the best footballer of the year. Was it like 2 years ago thereabouts? Yeah, I think has been on the podium in the last 2 or 3 years thereabouts. So I think he's recognized as one of the best striker, especially in that position in the world at the moment. But to your question, if it was to be an European or South American, I'm sure probably would have won one of these major awards.
Major awards.
In the last, in the last 2-3 years.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that, Shay. And of course, Wale, I'm going to come to you now. You are one of the I won't call you evil because you are very intelligent, but you are one of the wicked people that has been accommodating the stupidity of Pep Guardiola. Sergio Kun is gone. Uzus is the only recognized striker that we know in that team, apart from Liam Delap. And they played against Spurs again yesterday or today, Sunday, as the case might be. And we saw that deficiency again. We saw it again. It's evident. They're running after Kane. What if they don't get Kane? And with the look of things, Daniel Levy is not the easiest human being in this world. It might make it more difficult for them. Your thought on this? And don't tell me it's an alarm, because this has blown already. Or otherwise, I'm going to fight with you. Go ahead, please, Olali.
Okay. Certainly, from the look of things, yes, they certainly need Harry Kane. From I think, from what we are getting, all indication, I think they will get him. I think Spurs is going to sell. They might probably need to pay a very, because for Spurs not selling now, I don't know if they keep him till next year. What do they stand to gain? Absolutely nothing, because then they are becoming. Then that means the ball is getting into Harry Kane's side. Is becoming more powerful. Yeah. So they just have to sell. Yeah, City needs him very badly. But like you rightly said, unfortunately for Guardiola, I think in as much as he has been successful in England, I think his legacy has probably taken a bit of a hit with this attitude of not being patient with his squad, just as capitalizing on the fact that the money is available.
I can do
the moment a player is not really doing well. I think the squad of 2-3 years ago, those squads are capable of winning the Champions League. Yeah, I don't think they probably need to add Harry Kane. What do you call it? Grealish. I think Grealish would be the difference maker in them achieving whatever they want to achieve. If he has probably put more trust in Jesus over time. I don't think Jesus was actually a bad striker. Yeah. So I think it is more of him looking at himself critically, trying to be
looking at himself in the mirror and saying,
rather than just
Olali, just to chip in something, who buys a Jack Grealish for £100 million to be a backup to KDB? Because that's the only thing I see Jack Grealish being.
Like I said to you, it's going to create Jack Grealish sign is going to create a lot of problem for them. Because number one, if you place him in the role Sterling plays with him, yes, he could do a lot of things for you, but it won't get you the number of goals Sterling will get you. Sterling could be, we could question a lot of his decision making at times, but he plays more like the second striker in the team. But with Grealish will, it will give you some other things that Sterling will not give you. But that is even why they now need Harry Kane so badly. If not, where would the goals come from?
But don't trust Guardiola. If I buy Harry Kane and play Harry Kane as first nine, or play Harry Kane as a winger. Kachi, I'm going to come to you now. Who needs Kun Aguero? Who needs Lionel Messi when your name is Barcelona? The 1-4-2 on the weekend. Good one, a good start. And Braithwaite, the guy that the much Malik Braithwaite actually scored a brace in the game. It looks like Barcelona may be depleted, but they would compete. They might not win anything, but they are not going to become a laughing stock overnight.
Like Arsenal, you mean? Yes, I agree. I agree that they will compete, and primarily because most of these guys who have been playing under the shadow of Messi, or who have been bogged down by the weight of expectation because of the standard, Messi expect them to play to, will become freer. I mean, case in point is the case of Braithwaite. I think that it will be a breath of fresh air. This will gradually be an internal battle, but a very healthy one between Antoine Griezmann and Memphis Depay, whose team this is ultimately going to become.
Who becomes the alpha male.
Exactly. And it's going to be a healthy competition. I wasn't really surprised. We saw how much and how well they played and gelled during the preseason. I expect it to only get better. But when I say compete, I'm not ruling them out of winning, because if Atletico becomes inconsistent, if Real Madrid becomes inconsistent, because there is no huge weight of expectation on Barcelona,
they might just sneak up and win.
So really good win and good way to start the season. But yeah, very, very impressed with what I saw over the weekend.
And of course, Real Madrid defeated Alaves. Benzema still at the thick of things with a brace, Nacho and Vinicius Junior with the goals as well. Celta Vigo lost against Atletico Madrid 2-1 on the opening day. Atletico, if you continue like this, Real Mallorca versus Real Betis ended 1-1 on the night, while Sevilla defeated Real Vallecano 2-0. In the bully, Mainz defeated RB Leipzig 1-0, while Cologne defeated Hertha Berlin 3-1. We thought you could be Jovetic will be able to help Athletic Hertha Berlin more, but he could only score one goal for them. Lewandowski scored a goal when Munich and Mönchengladbach drew 1-1, while Erling Haaland had 3 assists and a brace when Dortmund defeated Frankfurt 5-2. And of course, for the fans of PSG, without Neymar and Messi, we won 40. We won 40 against Strasbourg. Of course, come on. I'm just a PSG fan for a week. Don't worry, I'll be back with Arsenal by weekend. Don't worry. And of course, change of coach means all the difference sometimes. Lille lost their coach to Nice over the summer, and Nice defeated Lille 4-0 on the opening day. Don't forget Lille are the defensive champion of the French league. And to other informations, Lukaku's signing has been made official now, so he should be starting and registered for Chelsea. Tammy Abrams move to Roma has been concluded. 34 million pounds to Roma. I wonder why Roma decided not to spend so much on Xhaka. Maybe because it's from Arsenal. Of course, Pau Torres of Villarreal has rejected Spurs. He said he wants to play in the Champions League. What's happening to the teams in London?
Wow.
And of course, Diego Costa has moved to Atlético Mineiro in the Brazilian league on a 2-year contract. Don't forget, Diego Costa has not had anything for the past 9 months. Mbappe was booed on in the game between PSG and Strasbourg because he has refused to sign a contract extension. Real Madrid are rumored to be wanting him for additional £100 million now if they can sell Martin Odegaard to the Deadwood team called Arsenal. And of course, Roger Federer is to miss more months. We don't know exactly what he's going to be missing, so we might not be seeing Roger. Roger, don't forget, clocked 40 years old last week, so it might be beginning of the year.
Let's go and retire.
Of the year. And of course, to a very silly one, Alex Moriba has refused to sign a contract extension with Barcelona currently in talks with Liverpool. That's the wrap and that's the show. Our thought goes to everybody in Algeria, in Afghanistan, in Haiti. And thank you very much. Don't forget to follow all our social media handles at News Instant on Instagram, News Instant YouTube, and News Instant 1 on Twitter. Till we see you next time. My name is still Adebola Adijai, and I'm signing out and saying peace out.